ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। In chapter 10, he asked for Vibhuti Yoga. And then Krishna explained how he is the best in everything. And then in chapter 11, he asked, show everything together. As long as you are seeing things in isolation, you are all right. If you put everything together, you can't handle the reality. Or a lot of maturity is required to handle the reality. So when Arjuna asked for Vishwarupa Darshana, Krishna immediately went into the Vishwarupa Darshana. And when he saw the Vishwarupa, emotions took over. A few emotions took over. When you see one phase of life, you will have some clarity about life. When you see both the phases of life simultaneously, you will not know what to do with life. Again, if only you see one phase, supposing you see only the bad phase of life, you know life is bad. You can reconcile with it. If you see the good aspect of life, again you can reconcile with it as life is good. Supposing if you see good and bad together in one, what will you do? You will not know whether to associate with it or not associate with it, to run away with it or to keep it going. You will really not know what to do with life when you see both together. Now, to see both together requires a maturity. Obviously, Arjuna didn't have that maturity. Krishna gave him that vision temporarily. He said, I'm showing you something temporarily. Isn't it? And when he saw that temporarily, he started getting into the fear. What is the fear? The fear, the various emotions, not just fear, the various emotions he went through. Why the various emotions he went through? Not knowing how to deal with this reality, not knowing how to deal with the fact that he is seeing in front of him. What is the fact that he is seeing in front of him? The good and the bad he is seeing in the same entity at the same time. The good and bad of life he saw at the same time. The good aspect of life is birth. The bad aspect of life is death, isn't it? The good aspect of life is the beginning of relationship. The bad aspect of life is the end of relationship, isn't it? So everything has these two. Birth has the profitable aspect of life is good. The loss aspect of life is bad. Now, what is Vishwarupa showing Arjuna? Vishwarupa telling Arjuna that there is only one thing. What? Both coexist. And you must have the maturity to accept it. Both coexist. What does both coexisting means? The life and the death coexist. Health and disease coexist. In the beginning of a relationship, the end of the relationship is determined. Just as at birth itself, the guarantee of death is assured. Only difference is what, 10 years or 70 years or 120 years, we don't know. That's all. But at the beginning of a relationship itself, the end of the relationship is guaranteed, is assured, isn't it? At birth itself, death is along with your birth, your death is also born. Isn't it? Now, Vishwarupa, imagine you can see that in front of your eyes. You have to visualize that. And if you visualize that, definitely all the emotions that Arjuna will go through, we will also go through. That is Vishwarupa. Are you able to follow? All that we are summarizing. I went on a holiday for a few weeks, so coming back and summarize. So when he saw that Vishwarupa, first emotion that he got is wonderment, ascharya. Because when you hear the philosophy for the first time, it's like, wow, wonderment, isn't it? And then you spend more time with the philosophy, fear will start. What is the fear now? What is the fear? நமக்கெல்லாம் இங்க இன்னும் பயம் வரல, Shankar, correct? We have not yet gotten into the fear. We are still stuck in the wonderment. We didn't get into the fear part of it at all as yet. What is the fear part of it? The philosophy is the law of life. The moment you see it as the law of life, there is a law always brings a fear. Whenever you understand something as a law, the immediate reaction about a law is one of fear. Why the immediate reaction about law is one of fear? Because you understand the law is not going to show any leniency, and you have to necessarily go through that. You have the law. As you are celebrating your birth or somebody's birth, you should also celebrate your death and somebody's death. This is the part and parcel of life, which is the reality. So when you see this, you understand that when you see this, you understand that there is no exception to anybody. Immediately what happens? Immediately there will be a fear. You want an exemption. You want the law to have some leniency towards you. Maybe it can function effectively in relation to others, but in relation to me, why can't it show some leniency in relation to me, sir? Okay, I can understand. In relation to everybody else, the law being strict and all is perfectly correct. That's how it should be. I agree with it. But when it comes to me also, it should not be in the same way. When it comes to me, how it should be? When it comes to me, why can't it show some leniency? When that factor about law is understood, fear comes in. That's where from wonderment, Arjuna moved into fear. What is the fear? The fear is under any given point of time, you cannot afford to violate the law. And if you violate the law mercilessly, you will be the consequences you have to face. That is the fear. Are you able to follow? What is the fear of life? The fear of life is facing the violating the law is not the fear. Nobody fears violation of the law, but everybody fears the consequences, the punishment, because the punishment is not, it's not something that is very pleasant. It's not something that is we don't want it. It's not likable, isn't it? not only it is not likable, we will start looking for the cause of the pain. The moment the pain comes, everybody starts looking for the cause of the pain. What is the cause of the pain? Why? You violate the law, the violation of the law comes to you as your prarabdha. That's all. You violate the law, the violation of the law comes to you as your prarabdha, and you necessarily have to go through it. You cannot do anything about it. That's all it means. Now work backwards. Whatsoever you are going through is your prarabdha because of the violation of the law. No, no. It is all correct, but it's all correct, sir, but it doesn't work like that, because I am very clear that my suffering is not because of me having violated the law. Me suffering is because of what? In this trip, I learned one sentence. Somewhere I read it in one of the thing. I don't know where I read it, but I liked it so much. Yeah. To err is human. To err is human. To blame another is more human, isn't it? I liked it so much. Yeah. I don't know where I read it. I don't know, somewhere in the plane I read, or some auto. I don't know where I read it, but it just struck so. To err is human, and to blame others is more human. Then only you are all right, isn't it? Then only you will be all right. Now Vishwarupa comes and tells you something very different. Obviously, what will happen? Obviously, there will be the obviously there will be the fear. So Arjuna, from wonderment, he gotten into fear for a period of, so he was in wonderment for a period of time, and then from wonderment he came into the devotion. Very important is to understand what you have to do to bring the shift from fear to devotion. What you need to understand, that the fear will turn into a bhakti, a devotion. Because that bhakti, the devotion, is what is being expected of the Vishwarupa Darshana. So what if you do that it turns from fear to bhakti? A few steps. A few steps. The first step is what we have seen, the distinction of karta and bhokta. Start with that. Karta and bhokta. The rule is yaha karta bhavati saeva bhokta bhavati. That's the rule. The rule is this. Yaha karta bhavati saeva bhokta bhavati. Meaning, the bhokta in you is nothing but the karta of you. In fact, it is the karta that is appearing as bhokta. There is no separate bhokta happening anywhere. There is the karta, and the karta is becoming the the bhokta. Therefore, at any given point of time, when you understand that you are the bhokta, two possibilities arise. One possibility is you can whip yourself. Another possibility is now that you have, now that you know how it works, you can be very happy and cheerful because you got the technique for freedom. Again, one method is you can whip yourself. Another method is now that you know the formula for freedom, you can be cheerful and happy. Are you able to follow? What is the formula? Ignore the bhokta and take care of the karta. Ignore the bhokta and take care of the karta. Ignore the bhokta and take care of the karta. Formula is very, very clear. When that formula happens, there is no, as a bhokta, the why part, the suffering part and all doesn't come into doesn't come into play. These doubts itself will stop happening. Opposite of it is what? Opposite of it is you are the karta and the karta will necessarily become the bhokta. Therefore, as a karta, you need to change something in you. Then as a bhokta, you will not have a problem. As a karta, something has to be changed in you. What is it that has to be changed in you? As a karta, you can choose to be the instrument, or as a karta, you can choose to be the doer. Again, I repeat. As a karta, you can choose to be the instrument, or as a karta, you can be the doer. If you choose to be an instrument, bhokta has no problems at all. If you choose to be the doer, bhokta has to necessarily experience. Are you able to follow? Now, forget to bhokta and come to karta, we said. And then having come to karta, the karta can have two options. Karta has two options. What is the two option? One is you can be the doer. Another is you can be the instrument. When you take the attitude of the instrument is not responsible. It is the doer behind the instrument that is responsible. Are you able to follow? We have seen this any number of times. The attitude of the instrument, isn't it? The knife doesn't incur any karma. Whether it is held by the surgeon or it is held by the murderer. The knife doesn't incur any, the knife has no karma at all. Either it is held by the surgeon or it is held by the murderer. The consequences of the action is going to go to the knife, or is it going to go to the surgeon or the murderer? It is going to the surgeon or the murderer. Therefore, what happens? You become the knife. You become the instrument. Then who becomes the doer? God becomes the doer, which is the law. Therefore, the law guides you what to do, what not to do, and you go by and everything you do in accordance to the law. Therefore, you are the instrument, and who's guiding you? The law. This is where we have a problem. At this point only we have a problem. What is the problem we have at this point of time? What should be the guiding factor? Law or likes and dislikes? Karta always goes by likes and dislikes. Instead of going by likes and dislikes, you go by, instead of going by likes and dislikes, you go by the law. When you go by the law, you overcome a major mental block of injustice in life, impartiality in life, injustice in life, and all you will overcome. Otherwise, life always seems to be partial. Life always looks like having some kind of partiality, injustice, isn't it? When it is pleasant to others, it is cruel to me. When everybody is designed to be happy, I am designed to be in in suffering. So who should be the guiding factor of your actions? The the law should be the guiding factor of your actions. When law becomes a guiding factor of your actions, you understand how well you are protected by the law. And then you start developing devotion to the law. Devotion to the law and devotion to the God, and all are one and the same. Then only bhakti comes. So, from wonderment to fear to bhakti. When you understand the impartiality of it, and when you understand your protection lies in the impartiality of the law. Supposing if there is a law that says, okay, how much ever you try to obey the law, but I will change, but I will choose to be partial, then where is the freedom for you? Are you able to follow? So bhakti means impartiality of the law. Impartiality of the law means impartiality of God. And when you understand impartiality of God, when you understand God as impartial, I think most of the religions will wind up. Most of the religious business will get packed up. Because most of the religious businesses thrive on what? You can make God partial to you. And then there are methods also told, isn't it? How to make God partial to you. Do this puja, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, please God. And when you please God, God will get. When you please, all that you have to do is what? Please God. And when you please God, that God will be partial to you. So we have understood what? The method. It doesn't work that way. Bhakti is what? Bhakti is prostrating to God again and again. He said, no, previously, somewhere in the 2-3 verses back, he said, no, prostrations to you again and again, 1,000 times prostrating, million times prostrating. East, west, north, south, I don't know, northeast, southwest, what all directions he was prostrating. He said, I will prostrate to you, I will prostrate to you, I will prostrate to you, I will prostrate to you. I'm continuously prostrating to you. Why? Why I'm continuously prostrating to you? Thank God you are impartial. Thank God you are impartial. So many times I have done prostrations to you. Why can't you be partial to me? So many times, sir, I have visited Tirupati Balaji. Why can't Tirupati Balaji be partial to me? Tirupati Balaji will say, whether you come or don't come doesn't make any difference to me. As long as you obey the law. So what happens? That is how fear matures. Fear turns into devotion. And devotion is very liberating. Bhakti itself is very liberating. That's why the devotees of God feel they are liberated already, as it were. Because the very bhakti itself is very liberating. What is the liberation? You know that you need not blame anybody anymore. What a freedom it is. What a freedom it is that you need not blame anybody anymore. What a freedom it is when you understand that nobody can hurt you. What a freedom it is when you understand nobody can hurt you. Nobody can cause any harm to you. What is the law? The law is this. Remember these three words. Free will, Purushartha, choice, conflict. Remember these three words. Purushartha, the free will. Second is the choice. The third one is conflict. People say there is no such thing called free will at all, sir. Are you able to follow? People say there is no such thing as free will at all. You just ask this question. Do you have conflict? Do you have conflict? If you have conflict, obviously it means there is a choice, there is a free will. Are you able to understand the sequence? Are you in conflict? If you have a conflict, then obviously it means there is a choice and there is a free will. Instrument doesn't have this problem at all. Instrument doesn't have these three problems: free will, choice, conflict. Instruments don't have. That's how it's so liberating. Instruments don't have this problem, isn't it? The driver doesn't have the problem of having to choose, isn't it? All that you have to tell the driver is go here. That's all. All that you have to tell the driver is what? Go. That's it. The driver need not sit and worry whether to go, not to go, where to go. All that he need not worry. All that he has to be go. Just told. That's all. That is bhakti. Told what to do, and thank God that somebody is telling you and somebody is willing to become the karta and you can become an instrument. What a freedom in life it is. But people say, no, sir, that is slavery. I will establish my freedom. I want to establish my freedom. Where will you establish your freedom? You will establish your freedom. But how you, and the only way you know to establish your freedom is how? Going according to likes and dislikes, and then as a bhokta, come back and complain. Are you able to follow? It's a beautiful thing. The very presence of conflict indicates we have a choice. When remedies are passed, griefs are ended. Remember that quotation? When remedies are passed, griefs are ended, because you have understood no more choice, isn't it? We can try. A time comes where you simply know that there is no more trying. Doctor says, take the person back home. That's it. Everything is sorted out. Take the person back home. When remedies are passed, griefs are ended. Are you able to follow? So the very presence of conflict indicates that we have a choice. We have a choice because there is free will. That's all it is. We have a choice because there is free will. People say, suppose somebody comes and says, I don't have conflicts at all, sir. Then there is no need for choice. Then there is no free will. But then every moment in life there is a conflict, isn't it? Every moment in life there is a conflict. When the alarm goes up at 4 o'clock in the morning, the conflict starts there only. It starts, isn't it? The alarm goes at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, do I put it off, wake up, not wake up, or wake up 10 minutes later? Animals don't have conflicts at all, isn't it? They don't have to worry about the alarm clock waking up, isn't it? 4:30 in the morning, the birds will start chirping. That's it. 4:30 in the morning, the birds will start chirping. No alarm clock is required. No conflict is required because they can't oversleep also. Even if they want to sleep also, they can't. They can't. If they will, they can't say, I don't feel like getting up today. Isn't it? I don't feel like it, or I feel like getting today. I don't feel like sleeping at all. Shivaratri. It cannot say. Either way, it can't do. Either way, it can't do anything. No conflicts, no choices, no problems at all. But human beings have this. Therefore, it is better to it is better to to know how to do the action. Are you able to follow? It is easy to hear, be an instrument and perform actions. You can't start becoming an instrument. One day you can become an instrument. Now, how do you start? Assume the responsibility of the karta obeying the law. Remember this. This law is what we call as Dharma Shastra. This law is what is called as Dharma. Are able to connect now? So it is very easy to say, be an instrument. It's so easy to say, so easy to hear also, and then you'll also think, very easy. I'll become an instrument. Now you can't be partial instrument, Allah, you can't be. Either you are an instrument or not. Therefore, instead of trying to become an instrument, you can become what? You can become the karta obeying as a karta obeying the law. That karta obeying the law means you need to know what is dharma, what is adharma, what is proper, what is improper. All that you need to learn, isn't it? The moment you take the role of the instrument, you need not worry about dharma anymore. The moment you become an instrument, dharma is not for you anymore. Because somebody is going to guide you, that person only has to learn everything. No. Why should you learn? Are you able to follow? The moment you become an instrument, at least when I heard this long back, I thought, what a way to become freedom. Just why bother about all this dharma? You should do this, you should not do that. Get up, oh God. Well, become an instrument. And so simple is to become an instrument, and it's not easy at all to become an instrument because the ego will be a block there. The ego will be a block. The raga dvesha will be a block in preventing you from actually acting. You can appreciate the benefit of being an instrument. Carefully follow. Raj. You can appreciate the benefit of being an instrument, but very difficult to become an instrument. In order to become an instrument, what you need to do? Forget this drama of becoming an instrument, bhakti and all this thing. Become a karta. Become a karta. Are you okay? Karta means karta performing actions in line with the law. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin, he said. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna keeps on telling Arjuna, be a nimitta matram, be my instrument. No. When somebody is willing to take up responsibility, what is your problem? Your ego says, no, I want to take. The ego wants to carry a burden. Ego doesn't want to let go of the burden. Are you able to follow? In fact, carefully follow this. Bigger the burden you carry, greater is your ego. In fact, ego always has to say, the burden that I am carrying is the biggest and the heaviest than rest of the world. Correct? The ego always believes the burden that they carry is the bigger and the heavier. Correct? Everybody has children. No, what is your problem? No, no, sir, you should have my children. The special burden there, isn't it? That extra burden, isn't it? Everybody has in-laws. What is your problem? No, 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 no. See my in-law. Then you will not speak like this. Are you able to follow? Everybody has bosses in their life, but see my boss. You don't know the burden that I am. The ego finds a pride in demonstrating the burden that it carries is much, much bigger than the rest. Does it make any sense? It doesn't make any sense at all. But the ego believes in that because bigger the burden you carry, greater is your importance. More important you become, more relevant you become, more great you become. If you can prove to others the burden that you are carrying is more. Instrument says, why this foolishness of unnecessarily having to carry the burden? Simply offload the burden of the karta. When you offload the burden of the karta, you become an instrument, and you cannot become an instrument. Why? The karta has to obey the law, and the karta has to obey the law and neutralize the likes and dislikes. Then becoming an instrument is possible. When you are full of raga dvesha, you cannot become an instrument. You can only become a karta following the law. Again, I repeat. When you have lot of likes and dislikes, you cannot become an instrument directly. All that you can become is a karta obeying the law. Opposite of that is what? You believe that you can become an instrument. Instrument means what? A non-egoistic existence. Are you able to follow? Instrument means a non-egoistic existence. Instrument means the why will never come. An instruction is given, the why will never come. How to execute the instruction alone will come. That is instrument. Ego will not allow you to do all this. Are you able to follow? Therefore, Vedanta takes a different route. What is a different route? Don't try this instrument and bhakti and all that in the beginning stages. Try to be the karta obeying the law. When you be the karta, the law, you transcend fear. Remember the sequence of Arjuna's development from wonderment to fear to bhakti. Now, wonderment to fear, fear to bhakti. We are discussing how the fear can get transformed into bhakti. How can the fear get transformed into bhakti? As a karta become the as a karta obey the law. As a karta obey the law. And the moment you obey the law, there is a the ego gets thinner and thinner. When you obey the law, the ego gets thinner and thinner. A thin ego can become an instrument. The thin ego can become an instrument. The moment one becomes an instrument, you are free. Are you able to follow? The moment you become an instrument, you are You are free because instrument means you become an instrument 24/7. Instrument means you become an instrument 24/7. Number two, you become an instrument 24/7 in the hands of life itself, not in the hands of anybody. Therefore, you have no reason to complain about anything in life. Instrument is not in the hands of somebody. Instrument in the hands of very life itself. It means whatsoever circumstances life throws at you, whatsoever situation life throws at you, you don't have a complaint. Are you able to follow? That is being an instrument. Instrument is not command means you don't go to somebody and say, tell me what to do, tell me what to do. Don't go and do that. If somebody tells you what to do, then that person himself doesn't know. Herself doesn't know. Because life itself is doing so much to you. Why somebody has to come and tell you what to do, what not to do? Are you able to follow? Therefore, what is very important, as the things unfold itself in life, each and everything that unfolds, you are able to accept it and move with it gracefully. This is bhakti. From wonderment to fear to bhakti. These are the three emotional stages that we have seen the development in Vishwarupa. And last we studied, which was we studied last? 41, 42. 41, 42 is where we were studying last. Are you okay till now? Yes.
I have two questions. So you said Karta has to obey the law. So does it mean the Karta will have Ahamkara, Mamakara, and Kartrutva, Bhoktritva, Bhava? That's the first question.
The question is, Karta has to obey the law. Does it mean that does the Karta will have Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, Ahankara, Mamakara, etc.? Yes. It will be there. Attempt is to neutralize that, minimize that. It will be there. The Karta will have Kartrutva and Bhoktrutva. It will be there. Instrument means no Kartrutva, no Bhoktrutva. Instrument is the one who doesn't have no Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva. Karta will have Kartrutva and Bhoktrutva. Only difference is what? He'll be trying to neutralize it. Make it thinner and thinner. The Kartrutva becomes thinner and thinner. The Ahankara, Mamakara becomes thinner and thinner. That's all. If Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva isn't there, then there is no Karta only in the first place. Where is the Karta in the first place? So it is implied, it is obvious that Bhoktrutva will be there. I can only make a note of it and remember not to be a victim of it. I can only make a note of it and remember not to be a victim of it. Are you able to follow?
And when you say that become an instrument, so instrument and sannyasi are same?
Don't correlate like that. The question is instrument and sannyasi the same? Don't correlate. Don't go on connecting stuff like that. Understand concepts separately. Here we are trying to explain the concept of bhakti. When we try to explain the concept of detachment, sannyasa will come. Ultimately, everything will merge. At the ultimate level, everything will merge and it can become one. But when you are understand everything separately. You follow what I'm saying? Don't mix it up. When you mix it up, what will happen? When you mix it up, what will happen? So confusing that you will not know how to put it into practice. You will not know what to put it into practice in a given situation. Are you able to follow? When you understand things separately and have clarity, then you will know in a given situation which one I have to practice. If you mix up everything in a given situation, you will really not know what to practice. Therefore, never, never ever mix it up like that. You follow? 41, 42, we were studying or finished? We were studying. In 41, 42, Arjuna is saying, being ignorant of your greatness, I took you very lightly. I took you as my equal, not not recognizing your greatness. Now he is remembering that, and he is feeling he is remorseful about it. Yacha avahasartam. To make fun of you, in order to put you down, you are made fun of, isn't it? In order to put you down, you are made fun of. And so many times, Krishna, I did that to you. Asakritah asti. Ata asakritosi. Sakritosi means I have definitely behaved discourteously to you. A very discourteous behavior, having put you, in order to make fun of you, I have put you down. Vihara means walking, going together, strolling, spending time together. Shayya asana means being. Shayya asana means treating a person equal. What is treating a person equal? Put the hands around the shoulders, address the person in Vadala, you address the person in singular. Bhojaneshu, while eating. What is discourteous while eating? Yeah. What is discourteous while eating? Yeah. Making him take and give it to you, isn't it? You passing it on carelessly. Whatever I uttered, tat kshamaya tvam, tat kshamaya, tat kshamaya, tat kshamaya means excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. Why? Because you are aprameyam. Why? Because you are aprameyam. Now that I have understood, you are aprameyam. What is known through pramana is prameya. Aprameya means that which cannot be known through any pramana. You are aprameyam. It's a very beautiful technical word. It's a very beautiful classic Vedic word. Or, there are some classic Vedic words. Prameya means that which can be known through a pramanam becomes a prameyam. That which can be known through sensory perception, inference, pratyaksha, anumana, etc. That which can be known through pratyaksha, anumana, etc. becomes the pramanam. Any knowledge that pramanam produces becomes a prameyam. Pratyaksham will produce a jnanam, and that pratyaksha jnanam becomes a prameyam. It will produce a jnanam, isn't it? Inference. Anumanam will produce a jnanam, and that is become aprameyam means what? Pratyaksha, anumana, etc. cannot reveal you. No No words can describe you. You are aprameyam, not realizing you are aprameyam, I did a lot of things. Forgive me for that. Pardon me for that. It's very obvious that Krishna doesn't have a problem. God will never have a problem with all these things. Again, it's very, very obvious that God doesn't have any problem with all these things. Krishna doesn't mind any of these things. He doesn't have a problem with all this. But from Arjuna's standpoint, it matters. From Arjuna's standpoint, it does matter. And therefore, he's saying, forgive me, pardon me. Verse number 43 padingo.
हितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य त्वमस्य पूज्यश्च गुरुर्गरीयान् न त्वत्तमोऽस्त्यभ्यधिकः कुतोऽन्यः लोकत्रयेऽप्यप्रतिमप्रभाव पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य त्वमस्य पूज्यश्च गुरुर्गरीयान् न त्वत्समोऽस्त्यभ्यधिकः कुतोऽन्यः लोकत्रयेऽप्यप्रतिमप्रभाव.
You are the father of this world, of the moving and unmoving, and you are to be worshipped, greater than the great. There is none equal to you. How then would anyone excel you in the three worlds, O being of incomparable power? You are the father of this world, of the moving and unmoving, and you are to be worshipped greater than the great. There is none equal to you. How then would anyone excel you in the three worlds, O being of incomparable power? You are the father, isn't it? You are the father. Now you can't ask where is the mother and all, isn't it? Don't ask where is the mother, sir? Why only father? Where is the mother? There cannot be a father without a mother. There cannot be a mother without a father. Therefore, whenever it is said father, mother is implied. Whenever mother is said, father is implied. In some places, mother will be said, father is implied. In some places, father will be said, mother is implied, because both are together, isn't it? That's where you find how each and every god has given place to their goddess, to their wives, father and mother. Brahma, the creator, keeps Saraswati where? Okay, Shiva keeps Parvati where? One part of her. Yeah, that's very clear. Where does Vishnu keep? In the heart. Yeah, where does Vishnu keep? In the heart. He has kept, isn't it? Sri Devi, Bhudevi, everything he has kept here. Where does Brahma keep Saraswati? Brahma kept Saraswati in the tongue itself. Because being the creator through the Vedas, the tongue is very, for the sound to produce, what is very important? The tongue. Therefore, Saraswati becomes the tongue of Brahma. It means cut the tongue, the Brahma cannot do anything. It means father means mother is, when you say father, mother is included. You are incomparable. You are incomparable. Why you are incomparable? Because aprameyam, all that he has been talking about, whatever he has been talking about, he's saying this is, you are incomparable. The adoration continues. That's all. If you don't have adoration, it will be very uninteresting, boring. If you have bhakti, adoration will be very, very inspiring. That's all it is. Sahasranama will be very inspiring if you have bhakti. If bhakti isn't there, Sahasranama will be, எவ்வளோ நேரம் சார் ஆகும், you will ask, isn't it? எவ்வளோ நேரம் ஆகும் means how much more time it will take to finish. So he is in that adoration. He is, you are the Pitasi. And you are the Pita, the creator of what? Chara charasya. Chara, achara. What did you create? The moving and the unmoving. The chara, achara is the world. Some aspect of the world moves, some aspect of the world doesn't move. The stones don't move by themselves. The tree move in just in one place, in one direction. Birds and animals move from place to place. Human beings can discover an aircraft and go to moon also, isn't it? Moon and Mars also. So there are only two types: chara, charasya. This chara, achara is the description of the world. World means the entire creation. So the entire creation is made up of the moving, and you are the creator of that. Pujyaha. You are to be worshipped. You are the only one who's worthy of worshipping. You worship only when you recognize you are a beneficiary. When will you worship somebody? When will you worship somebody? When will you prostrate to somebody? Only when you realize that you are you are a beneficiary. So pujyaha, worshipfulness, is a consequence of bhakti, devotion, gratitude. So you are pujyaha because all that you have in this creation is given by you. Since everything is given by you, you are worthy of worship. Gurur Gariyan. Guru na greater nartham, heavy nartham. Guru means, we have seen that any number of times. The Sanskrit word guru means not just a teacher. Yeah. Guru means the heavy. That's why the heaviest planet is called, the heaviest planet in our thing is Jupiter. The Sanskrit name for Jupiter is Guru. Yeah. So Guru na obisa and the Guru nartham, isn't it? So Guru means one who has to be really huge and big. See, what is that? Huge and big. You are Gurur Gariyan. You are greater than the greatest. Tvat samaha. Tvat samaha means there is none equal to you. Because you are aprameyam, you are the only one pujyaha, you are the Gurur Gariyan. Therefore, nobody can be equal to you. Nobody can be superior to you. These are all your greatness. These are all your greatness. How would then anyone excel you in the three worlds? என்ன அர்த்தம்? உன்னோட பெரியாள் யாருமே கிடையாதுன்னு. Isn't it? How can anyone excel you in three worlds? Means there cannot be anyone who can become greater than you, better than you. Isn't it? Oh no, sir, it is not like that. You should know me also. If you see me and God, I am slightly better than God, because even God can be happy. But look at me. Look at the heavy burden that I am carrying. Look at the responsibilities that I am having. Look at all that I am having. Who's bigger? God or me, your ego will say, actually speaking, God should be worshipping me, sir. Instead of me worshipping God, God should be worshipping me. Instead of me building temple to God, God should build a temple to me. Guru Gariyan. Incomparable, incomparable power. Incomparable power because keeping the entire creation together. Keeping the entire creation together, making sure the laws are functioning so effectively and monitoring the law functioning so effectively that it doesn't even for a split second, the laws do not, even for a split second, the laws do not change. Apratima prabhava lokatraye. Lokatraye api apratima prabhava. Meaning what? Apratima. Unrivaled in three words. Why? Because your glory, your might, your greatness, your goodness, your nobility, your fullness, your perfection. Yeah. Ego likes to pay attention when it is glorified. Ego will fall off to sleep when others are glorified. Again, ego will be fully alert and it will pay full attention when it is glorified. Yeah. That's why he always says, no, the cheapest technique is what? The cheapest technique, and it works 110% always. What is the cheapest technique? Vijay, இதுப்பா cheapest technique which works 110%? Kolathur. What is the cheapest technique that works 110%? Flattery. Flattery. It works 110%. It works. Not a single person will not fall for flattery, isn't it? Flattery is what? You are great. You are the important. You are the most. You are this. You are that. Wow. Isn't it? Flattery. So ego likes to hear its Sahasranama. When God's Sahasranama is said, yeah. In one of the songs, in one of the beautiful Carnatic music songs, he says that, isn't it? Yeah. He says, if you have to talk about somebody else, how much the entire personality is alert and awake and everything. Govindana, it fall off to sleep on. Isn't it? Say Govinda, it falls off to sleep immediately, but it gets very wide alert and awake when you have to talk about somebody. Yeah, that is our level. And Arjuna, having seen the Vishwarupa, is continuously going. He's in that inspired state, so he can go on and on and on, giving this Vishwarupa glory. He's seeing it, and how much ever he glorifies it, he is not able to. He's not able to stop it. You are unrivaled glory of power, perfection. Therefore, though I have said discourteousness, poked fun, etc., I know you will forgive me because you are so. I know it will not make any difference to you. I know it will not be of any concern to you, but I must apologize. This is bhakti. Not because you are hurt. Please understand that. You go and apologize not because, oh, I hurt that person, therefore I should apologize. I always say, don't care, because the other fellow, you don't even exist in the dictionary of the other for you to go and apologize. You don't even exist in the dictionary of other. In your ego, you are the biggest. What is the ego? What is the ego? Example of ego, the story. Ah. The fly spoke to the elephant in the evening. The fly spoke to the elephant in the evening and said, if you are tired of carrying me, tell me, I will fly away. Elephant spoke. Now that you spoke, I recognized you are sitting on me. That's all. Supposing if the fly hasn't said anything, the elephant wouldn't have even recognized it. Are you able to follow? The fly of the ego, the fly has an ego. That ego makes it to believe that it can be a burden to an elephant. Therefore, you apologize not because you hurt the other. You apologize because of what? You apologize because you have been careless. You have been irresponsible. You apologize. Always people say, sir, I should say sorry. No, I said, doesn't matter. You say sorry because the other person doesn't even care about you. Because in your head, just as your head is so much occupied about your own self, the other person's head is occupied by whom? Huh? Your head is occupied by you fully. The other's head is occupied by who? By themselves. So it means everybody is so preoccupied with themselves. அவங்களுக்கு அவங்களே பேசிக்கிறது, isn't it? Drama only, all are insanity only. Everybody is talking to themselves, everybody is doing things. There is no, and that people believe we had a very good interaction, sir. Their interaction, all happening within, all happening in their head only, isn't it? I know, Krishna, it doesn't matter to you, but I apologize because I have been. So the apologies is not because you are hurt. The apologies is because of my carelessness. This is bhakti. Are you able to understand how beautifully he is transforming? அது அப்படி படிக்க தெரியணும். Yeah, you should know how to read it like this. You should know how to see how beautifully he is not apologizing because Krishna is hurt. Why will Krishna get hurt? Who will get hurt? Another ego will get hurt. And to get hurt, you need an ego. You know that? To get hurt, you need an ego because it is the ego that can get hurt. More hurt means strong ego. Superficial hurt means superficial ego. No ego means no hurt. Yeah. I got hurt, sir. Because you just had a big ego, that's all. What else is there to get? Why will you get hurt? Because what is it that gets hurt? It is the ego that gets, it's the ego that gets hurt. Now for Krishna, there is no hurt at all. Why there is no hurt at all for Krishna? There is no ego. But Arjuna says, no, my carelessness, I have to apologize. So I am apologizing not because you are hurt. I apologize not because I have insulted you, not because you got insulted. No. You are above all this. You are aprameyam. You are this. You are this. You are that. I know you would have, I know all this wouldn't have mattered to you at all. Anyway, it doesn't matter to you, then why should I care? No. You should care because of you should worry about your carelessness and your irresponsibility. That carelessness and irresponsibility is tamoguna, and you should definitely worry and take care of your tamoguna. You should worry about it. You should take care of it. It may not be anything for the, it may not matter to Krishna, but it matters to you. Therefore, whenever you apologize not because you have hurt the other. You apologize because of you having been careless. Tamoguna it is. It is highly tamoguna. I am careless and irresponsible, not even aware that I am being careless and irresponsible. Therefore, Krishna says, I know it wouldn't have affected you. I know you would not have. I tried to poke you, but you would not have. You wouldn't have gotten poked, isn't it? I tried to make fun of you by putting you down, but then I can never ever put you. I can never ever put you down. But foolishly, I did all this. Therefore, I apologize. This is verse number 43. We'll continue with verse number 44 onwards in the next